Welcome to the Superkick podcast for 2024. This is the round 15 review, and we start off with the Viatel Magpies versus the Doctor's Vengeance, where Charlie Curnow and Eric Kipwood ran right with 5 goals each. Were able to easily defeat the Doctor's Vengeance, with Calamar Chi being the best with 2. Final scores 90-40. Next up, we have the 6th place Vengeance versus the 10th placed Pilotina Pirates, and lackluster performance here by the Goldfists. Coach may have been booed off the ground at Festival Park, with Owies, Guelphy, Langford, Swallow all producing multiples, while only Peter Wright was able to produce a multiple for Goldfest. Final scores 36-81. In the top of the table clash, it was the Funky Balls playing the Stars, whereby the Stars, still struggling for form, still lost again by 7 goals, with Harry Mackay, Tracy, Petruccelli, Darling and Riccardi all kicking multiples for the Bulls, whereas only Danaher and Chad Warner were the best for the Stars. Final scores 90-59. Donna's Good took on the East Quiche in the next game of the round, and it was Jake Stringer who showed his class with 5 goals, and Mitch Georgiades with 3, while Jeremy Cameron was the best for the Quiche with 3 goals 3. Final scores 95-61. In the final game of the round, it was the Mango's top of the table taking on the Scorpions, and it went down right to the wire, with Ben Long kicking a goal in the last few minutes of the game in order to get the win, and a bit of controversy with the on the line mark, but the final scores were 77-80. Moving on now to the ladder, and it is the Funky Balls who have regained top spot with 114 percentage. Viatel Magpies are now in 2nd, jumping up from 5th. Don is Good and Mongolian Mangoes all on 9 wins as well. East Quiche and Goldfest on 8 wins. The Scorpions with a long percentage behind in 7th. With 7 wins. Boogie Woogie Sheep, Stars and Pirates all with 6 wins, and Doctor's Vengeance last with 3. Taking a look at next week's round now, we've got the Pilotina Pirates taking on the top of the table Funky Balls. Can the curse continue? Doctor's Vengeance at home at the Surgery against the Mangoes. The Stars looking for a win against Don is Good. East Quiche against the Boogie Woogie Sheep in the match of the round, and the Southeast Scorpions taking on the Goldfest. Viatel Magpies have the bye. In the BH Cup, it was a tight one between the Sheep and the All-Out A-Track, with the Sheep coming on top with a 6-point win, 83-77. Moving on to the SMS League now, and we had the White Line Fever take on the A-Track, and the White Line Fever just sneaking over the line with a win, with Ben Long being the difference again, with his late term goal, was able to get them over the line 80-77. It was the Pokey Bombs who were too strong for the Walsh Dogs, with Harry Mackay and Jamie Cripps kicking the goals, along with Sturt and Ollie Lord. Meanwhile, return of Oscar Allen helped out, but his inaccurate kicking cost the Walsh Dogs the win. Final scores 85-58. Minton Mick took on the Cigar team in Free Smoke, who was smoking early but just didn't quite really burn off the Minted. Minted was very close, with Guelphy hitting the post, which cost them the game. The final scores were 65-68. Rocket Rod didn't fail to launch this week against the Rubber Gloves at the Cape Canaveral, with the Rubber Gloves winning by 4.5 goals, with Peter Wright, Tracy, Darling, and McLean all kicking multiples, while Swallow was the best for Rocket Rod with 2 goals. Final scores 49-77. In the last game of the round, it saw the Wobbly Kickers able to snatch a draw against the Fortress, with Joe Danaher and Eric Hipwood having a shootout. And it was very even across the board here, but Fortress would be disappointed with his depth, unable to find the 8th goal kicker, which cost him the win. Final scores 92 each. Taking a look at the ladder now, it was White Line Fever are on top with 11 wins, along with Pokebombs. A bit of a gap down to Free Smoke and the Asians with 9 and 8 wins respectively. Then Mint and Mick is back in the top 6 with the Rubber Gloves. Rocket Rod and the Flying Fortress have dropped out, with A-Track and the Walsh Dogs not far behind. And the Wobbly Kickers, who are out of contention, now have one win and 2 draws. Looking at next week, it's the Free Smoke taking on the White Line Fever. The Walsh Dogs take on the Asians. A-Track against Rocket Rod. In the BH Cup, it's the Flying Fortress versus the Asians. Rubber Gloves at the Sink against the Pokebombs, and the Wobbly Kickers take on Mint and Mick at Windy Hill. The surprise this week was the late inclusion by the Essendon Football Club, with Nate Caddy kicking 2 goals.
Shit like Bruce Award.
Hands it up. Caddy the long hand off. Coffee again.